Welcome to the LAO Centralized Access Channels and Services presentation. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We are excited to give you an overview of the intake services that the public is free to access. This session is an opportunity to ask any questions that you have about the range of service options LAO has available today. We also welcome any feedback that you have about how the information is presented today. We will be distributing a short survey at the end of the presentation. And we will also be taking this presentation on the road, presenting to other community partners across the province with help from our regional partners. So your feedback is extremely important to us. Over the past couple of years, working with many LAO departments and regional staff, we've been working to improve the way we serve clients, including streamlining access, intake, and eligibility processes, and introducing new digital channels. So by focusing on widening clients' access points, Legal Aid has made it easier for our client to get the information they need, making applications easier for clearly eligible clients, and allowing applicants to go back and update any information made at their point of intake. So to move with changing client capabilities, LAO now offers a variety of ways to connect with us beyond the phone. So before I start, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Jacqueline Cutler, Business Advisor for the Operational Policy Management Department. So my role is kind of getting the word out about our service channels by doing information sessions with stakeholders like yourselves. I'll introduce John, who's on the call as well.
Thanks, Jackie. My name is John Haddad. I'm currently the manager of the Client Business Systems and User Support team. We're the ones that kind of helped, along with our IT department, create the client portal, which I'll be discussing with you guys today. And it's been a short 31 years for me at Legal Aid. And in July, I'll be starting a new role as senior advisor. I think the senior advisor has something to do with my age, so I'm not sure what that is. But with that, I'll pass it over to Kate.
Oh, thanks, John. Right in mid-laugh. My name is Kate Nixon. I'm a business advisor in the Regional Services Division. Our division supports the Duty Council program as well as direct client service. Been an LAO employee for, I think we're coming on to 18 years now, if you can believe it. So I'm happy to share this information with you all today. And I'll send it over to Chantel. I'm not sure if Chantel's speaking in today's meeting, but I see her name.
No.
Oh, okay, then we'll go to Debbie. The next person I see is Debbie. Over to you, Debbie.
Thanks, Kate. Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Pauls. I'm one of the managers with the Client and Lawyer Service Center. And I've been with Legal Aid 16 years now. And I also manage our chat access service channel. So I will be sharing some information about that with you today. And I will pass it over to Catherine.
Thanks, Debbie. My name is Catherine. I'm a staff lawyer with Legal Aid Ontario. My pronouns are she, her, and I have been involved with delivering family law services. Currently, I'm supporting the assisted applications team at the CLSC and doing liaison with our Court of Appeal. And I look forward to talking to you about assisted applications. And I'm going to pass then to Maria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria. I'm a communications advisor, and I've been working at LAO for about 2.5 years. And I won't be speaking too much today, but I have helped develop some materials for these presentations. So I'll be listening in and keeping in mind of the time and taking some notes if needed. I want to apologize, I'm not on camera. Right before this meeting, I tried to join, but my face was blending into the Legal Aid background. And I kind of almost want to go on camera to show you how scary it looks, but also I'm aware that this is being recorded and that is not necessarily something people need to be freaked out by. So I won't be joining on camera today, but I will be listening. So I will pass it over with that. I see the name says Kate on the screen, but I know that that's Stacy we have here. So I'll pass it over to Stacy.
Oh, yes, I just realized my name does say Kate. Kate had to forward me the invite to everyone. Sorry, I was late joining. My name is Stacey Huxtable. I'm with the External Relations Department. I'm the senior advisor with that department. Before that, I joined Legal Aid in 2011, and I started as a staff lawyer at the Family Law Service Center in Sarnia. And then I was recently the manager of the 3 Family Law Service Centers in the West District, so in Windsor, Chatham, and Sarnia. So welcome this afternoon, and thanks for joining.
Thanks, Stacey. I think Moyo is also on the call.
Hi, everyone. My name is Moyo. I'm the project manager for the intake operations department at LAO. I will not be speaking today, but I'll be checking the chat for any questions. And so feel free to drop questions in the chat throughout the session, or also raise your hand just to speak as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Moyo. All right, so we'd like to get started with a land acknowledgement. I am grateful to live and work and be speaking to you from the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. Kingston is situated on the traditional territories covered by the Upper Canada Treaties, including Treaty 9 and Treaty 3. The territory that we now know as Ontario, and it is governed by treaties from the Peace and Friendship Treaties to the Number Treaties, all of which bind many nations to share those territories and protect the land in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Today, this region is home to many Indigenous people, including First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island. And we recognize that we must do more to learn about the rich history of this land so that we can better understand our roles and responsibilities. Myself and my colleagues actively acknowledge our nation's commitment to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action, the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit report's calls for justice. So the main objective for running these sessions is to help you better understand how to support your clients when they apply for legal aid. We will do this by going over the key features of the LAO centralized intake channels. Today's focus is on helping to ensure that you're aware of the different access channels, especially some of the newer service channels and options available for our more at-risk or vulnerable clients. And our purpose today is to provide you with up-to-date information that may assist you with serving your clients. And we believe after this session, you'll better understand what happens when you refer clients to our services. So just talking a little bit about the certificate program. So the LAO, or the Legal Aid Certificate, is a document we provide our clients that confirms that we will pay for their legal aid lawyer. The client can then bring this document to a legal aid lawyer of their choosing to receive the help they need. There are 5 key areas of law that are covered under the certificate program. So we do offer defense of criminal charges where there is a risk of incarceration if convicted. We also provide appeal of conviction and sentence matters. We offer assistance for family law matters, child protection, refugee and immigration, including basis of claim, refugee hearings, humanitarian and compassionate ground applications, judicial review of decisions. We also offer assistance for mental health matters, and that includes the Ontario Review Board hearings and consent and capacity hearings. We also do cover various matters within the prison law realm. And so these are the primary access channels that you may know about. And within each of these access channels, there are various client service options available. So the contact center is our most commonly known access point. And then we have our newest access point, which is the live chat. So our certificate applications are not processed through this channel. However, our chat agents can provide basic information for individuals to help them understand our services, including the certificate program. And then we have the client portal, which is our online self-service option. Legal Aid is committed to continually enhancing the service channel, and we will be providing a demo of the service channel during this session. So we will be highlighting the various functions that are available here. And then we also have our assisted applications. And so these are forms that lawyers and select service providers can email Legal Aid to facilitate a certificate application on behalf of the client. So we will speak to who is best suited to using these various access points as we progress through our presentation today. So I'm just going to pass it over to Debbie.
Thanks, Jackie. Took a minute for my mute to come off. Okay, so the contact center. The contact center offers services over the phone. So service is available Monday to Friday during regular business hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it is best suited for those who prefer to speak to somebody in real time, and real-time interpretation is available to those whose first language is not English or French. So at this channel, we screen out the general inquiries for those not suitable for legal aid services. And then we also provide referrals to services within legal aid, including summary legal advice, callback services for family and criminal. We will do referrals to community clinics and to other external service providers. We process certificate applications for all matters within legal aid's coverage areas, and most clients will receive a decision on their eligibility within the same day. We provide full support for immediate and longer-term client needs, including requests for review of certificate application decisions and change of lawyer applications. So at this channel, we also have a dedicated in-custody phone service where the wait times are reduced due to these clients having limited time to be on the phone. The contact center also includes a lawyer advice service, which is available 9 to 5 for emergency family law needs. This can include clients who are experienced domestic violence and have a limited call window and safety is a concern, or a client who the Children's Aid Society has notified that they are removing their child, or if the client is calling from a jurisdiction outside of Ontario and seeking some advice about an Ontario family law matter. The live advice queue is also for clients who are calling with a support person due to mental health challenges, or if they are finding it difficult to coordinate callbacks, or if they are unhoused or an inpatient at hospital and they're having to use a service provider's phone. So while this is the most comprehensive service channel that we offer, it is restricted to regular business hours, which may not work for everybody. Does anybody have any questions about the contact center? Okay. I'll also speak to you about chat. So chat is the newest access point to the organization. We just turned 2 years old this month. It is available in both English and French, and a live chat agent is available to respond to general inquiries on our external website. So the chat agents do not ask any personal or case-related information during their chat interaction. The clients do have the ability to print or email themselves a copy of the chat transcript. So if we've provided them, contact information or links to another external service provider or internal service provider, they can print or email themselves the transcript so they don't lose that information. And then at the end, they also have the opportunity to complete a survey so they can give us some feedback about their experience. So chat is available on all 300 plus pages of Legal Aid's external website. It's available Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. The average wait time to chat with a specialist is 16 seconds. So it's a very quick option for people. On average right now, we're receiving 64 chats a day. So please feel free to promote the chat feature that we have on our website for clients that have any questions about, legal aid, how to apply, what is required, what do we cover, that sort of thing. And although this channel does offer support, the services are limited to information only, and clients may require another access channel to progress their matters. So this might not be suitable for everybody. Any questions about chat? Okay, John, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Debbie. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to be talking to you about the client portal. Just some features I'll just talk about here before we actually get into the demo. It's been just over 3 years since we went live with this version where we have it available 24/7. The ability for clients who have either profiles with legal aid, brand new to legal aid, can make applications and potentially get answers in real time. Just about 10-15 seconds after they hit submit, they will get a response letting them know either it's been successful or it's being reviewed. They also have opportunities to help them find a lawyer on the portal. They can update their personal information that they currently have with legal aid opposed to calling us. They can upload documents to us, again, opposed to faxing or mailing them. They can sign documents electronically as well. So there's some really great features, and I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the processes now. And share my screen, and fingers crossed you guys are able to see it. Yes, no, maybe. Nope, doesn't look positive.
No, we can't see you.
Okay, thank you.
Just you, John.
That's not good for anybody. I apologize.
There you go.
Okay, awesome. So this is our client portal login page. So your clients are going to fall into 3 categories. Category 1, they have our home system that all of our call center staff, our district staff use is called PeopleSoft. And so if they have their profile within PeopleSoft and have set up a client portal profile in the past, all they do, just like any website, they would come in, enter their user ID, which is either their email address or their legal aid client number, their secure password, click sign in, and they're in the portal and off they go, just like any other site. If their situation is a little bit different, so difference being I've applied before, but I've never accessed the client portal, or maybe more than likely, I've never dealt with legal aid in the past. This is all brand new to me. Both those 2 options would come this way, this route. They're new to the client portal and they click get started here. And if at any time there's anything you want clarification on, please, whether it's on the chat, come off mute, something that's really you would see as relevant for your client base. This happens all the time. How would I deal with it? Feel free at any time to jump on and to let me know, and I'll do my best to address it. So the client portal, when they started off, we kind of let you know what's available to them. They can apply for legal aid. They can check the status of their legal aid application. They can upload documents, status checks, everything like that. If they're looking to apply for legal aid, family law, children's aid, criminal, or refugee or immigration matters. If it's a landlord and tenant matter, if it's a tribunal hearing, unfortunately at this time, the client portal cannot facilitate that application. They'd have to call our call center. But if it's any one of the 4, absolutely they can go down that path. Also, they can own property. They can still be eligible for legal aid, absolutely, with owning property, but just not via the client portal at this time. Same is true with their income source, whether it's OW or DSP, or they have no source of income as they're brand new to Canada, no income as they're currently living in a shelter, and lastly, no income as they're currently in custody in jail. Of course, people can be working and be eligible for legal aid. Just at this moment, we're looking to enhance this in the very near future, but the client portal is restricted to these clearly eligible client situations. So I'm going to click continue. The portal is available in English and French, whatever is preferential. We're looking at enhancing it to expand to other languages, but right now it's only English or French. Click next. Have you applied for legal aid before? So if your client was in a situation with, oh, I've dealt with legal aid in the past, I know my client number, but I've never done this client portal thing before. They would just answer yes. Then we'd ask them for their client number. They would provide it. We check in the background. Oh, yes, that is a valid client number. And we'd ensure that they do not have a client portal profile. If we found that they did, we'd send them back to the login page, tell them to log in. If they don't, we do some validations with names, date of birth, addresses to ensure it's a one-to-one match. And then again, process their reason for applying or creating a client portal for that day. But for our demo, I'm going to treat it as this person is brand new to Legal Aid. They've never had an interaction with us in the past. So I'm going to say no to this question here. What do you want to do on the client portal? So because I said I'm brand new, all the opportunities to change my profile, check the status of my applications, upload documents isn't relevant to me at this time because I have no relationship with Legal Aid. In the future, that will be relevant, but today, my only option is to make a new application. If I selected other, they'd be instructed to call the contact center. I have some questions about Legal Aid. How does this work? Debbie's chat feature would be a great option, but if they came this route first, they'd be a big pop-up message would come up and let them know, here's our window of operation times, here's the numbers, feel free to call. But right now, we're going to make an application. Do you live in Ontario? I do. What is your income? So again, for the client portal at this time, this will be changing, where we'll be able to accept all income streams. But right now, it's Ontario Work, ODSP. If this is a young person and they're living at home, I'm a youth living with a parent or caregiver. If that's selected, we immediately are going to want to know, is a parent and or caregiver receiving OW or ODSP? If not, then we're going to direct them to call us. No income, I'm in jail, new to Canada, no income as I'm in a shelter. Other is reflective of the million different options, working full-time, part-time, I'm on EI, I'm on workman's comp, I'm on pensions, CPP, OAS, whatever it is captured under other. Again, this is something we'll change where we'll actually be able to accommodate all income variables through the client portal application process. But today, unfortunately, that would drive them to call us, to call the contact center. But for our demo, I'll select they're on Ontario Works. Do you own any real estate? I do not. Next. Legal matter in Ontario. Of course, you can be eligible if your matter was outside of province with reciprocity agreements that we have with other provinces. But again, for the portal, we would be asking you to call us. But luckily, our matter is in Ontario. And next. So here are our 4 legal types. Criminal, family, children's aid, refugee and immigration, other, like I mentioned, landlord and tenant, tribunal matters, a whole host of civil matters. If that's what they're seeking coverage for, they will be directed to call us. Does anybody have a preference, anything that's more reflective of maybe their client situations, where whether it be refugee and immigration, children's aid, family, or criminal, it would be more impactful to see, or I can select one at random if you prefer. I'll give everyone a second, and then maybe I'll just pick criminal if that's. Oh, actually, I'll go to family. Okay, let's do family. And next. So we just want to know, are you starting or responding to a family court case? Like this is the first time you're initiating it. Are you changing a family court order or other? So for our demo today, we're just going to say, this is brand new. I'm just starting the process or responding to the process, and click next. Because we selected family law, we have what we call our 3 domestic violence questions. The client always has the opportunity to respond whether yes, no, or they don't wish to answer. Of course, whatever is appropriate is totally acceptable. We're not forcing any responses here. For this demonstration, I'll just go through the questions. Do the other party cause you to fear for your safety? I'm going to say yes. Have your children ever experienced any physical? I'll say no. And for the last one, has the other party tried to control you by telling you where to go, who you can talk to, etc.? And I'm just going to say I do not wish to answer and select next. Do you have a final court order involving the same person? I do not. This is all new. And select next. So these are the different family law issues. So whenever your client is selecting, in the background, we're gathering that information and crafting the proper coverage, if they're eligible, for the lawyer to have the proper hours to represent your client appropriately. So I'll say custody, access, and a restraining order, and select next. Do you or the other party agree on all family law issues? Unfortunately, we do not. Do you think you can communicate and come to an agreement with the other party? Unfortunately, no. So with those questions being answered, we've completed what we call the pre-screening portion of the application. This is all anonymous. We haven't gathered any names, date of birth. That's all going to be coming up shortly. We just wanted to ensure that the client met our criteria, met our thresholds before we start capturing that information, opposed to, do you live in Ontario? No, I don't. And we just ask you to onboard, and then you find out in the second question that you're not eligible through this pathway. So this is why we do it this way. They had the opportunity to review all the questions and there's some answers. If they felt like, oh, actually, it isn't family law, I've actually been charged with domestic violence, they could click back here and make a change to any one of their questions. Of course, depending on what question they change, could have impacts to the questions that we're displaying underneath. Of course, if I change from family to criminal, all of these family law questions would no longer be relevant and would have to go down the criminal path. But luckily, our example, everything is accurate, and I'll just click next. So now we're gathering some information here. I'm in our test environment, so none of this is going to our real database, so there's no harm in anything I'm doing here. When we ask for the client's mobile number, what that is giving them an opportunity is to provide or to receive text messages for the two-factor authentication. Every time they log in, and then in this onboarding process, they can get it via email or they can get it via text. And this is the opportunity for them to get it text. So it's going to capture that here. If by chance your client doesn't have a fixed address, which we know a lot of our clients are in that situation, if you're calling us, there's no problem. We can accommodate no fixed address, and postal code can be blank. We just would capture city and province, of course. In the client portal, the postal code is critical for us, so we need this. So if your client has no fixed address, we recommend that they select an address that they can easily access and receive mail securely if legal aid ever needed to mail them anything. So the postal code will drive in the background the district office we associate this application to. Not really important for the clients because it's all seamless, but on our side of it, that's why we're seeking that postal code. I'm going to click submit. And so once I've done that piece, we have generated an email that I'll show. We're on Zoom, so I don't think you're going to see this. So I'm just going into my inbox, try and narrate this fascinating piece here. Access the email legal aid just sent. It's a consented email communication. I click a link, click here to confirm your email. Once that happens, you see the page hopefully now, email verification. I agree, confirm my email. Once that happens, another email is being generated, what we call the portal invitation email. And that's going to provide the clients their user ID, which will be, if their email is unique to legal aid, i.e. it's never been used in the past by any other individual, they will have their login as their email address. If the email has been used in the past, they'll get the client number as the unique login, their user ID. Sorry, one sec. Sorry, everyone, 1 second. There we go. So I'm just going to paste in the client number because my email, I'm using my email to get that information. And my email is all over this test environment. So that's why I got a CLT number opposed to my email address. I captured the password, the temporary password that was in the email that was sent in the portal invitation. I click sign in. And now we're kind of in the client portal structure. This is a two-factor authentication. Every subsequent time they come to the portal, this is a step to enter, just like our banking websites or any other sites that have a two-factor authentication. They can get it via email or via text. I'd say I'll send an email so you can all see it, but unfortunately, I know that's not accurate. 1 second for me and I'll grab it. It's 2521. Click continue. Again, I'm brand new to legal aid. This is the terms and conditions document. They'll see this, they have the opportunity to review it carefully. For our sake, we're just going to scroll to the end and quickly accept. They have access to this information on their login page if they needed to review it at a later time. Date of birth. They enter their date of birth here. This is an interesting part here. A lot of people, and rightfully, and this is something we're going to change, see, oh, they're asking for an activation code. Well, I just received one, so I'm going to enter that same 4 digits. Actually, we need them to get a brand new 4 digit. This page here, they'll never see it again after their first time creating their profile on the client portal. So this is just a one-time event. They'll get this information. I'll quickly grab the second. 9914. Enter that here. But if you're helping your clients, you'll definitely come across this, and just remember to grab a new 4-digit PIN. The current password, that's the password that was received on the portal invitation. Unfortunately, you weren't able to see, but I have it here. I'll just paste that in. New password. This is a secure password the client will use that is meaningful for them so they can access it going forward. This is a password recovery question. We have 5 options. We're going to be expanding this list. I'll just do this here. Click submit. And now we're completing the application process. And we're asking, the first page is asking for gender, and then subsequently the immigration status. So I'll select gender. I'll select immigration status. Here are all the options here for the client, whatever is reflective of their situation. I'll just select here one at random. Select next. Then we go to our Indigenous self-identifying question. This is asking the client, do they self-identify as either First Nation, Métis, or Inuit? If they say yes, there's a follow-up questions. Well, let us know, do you recognize yourself as First Nation, as Inuit, or Métis? Or if those 3 options are not reflective of your experience, other is an opportunity is here. I'll select First Nation just to give you a demonstration of subsequent questions as well. So if it's First Nation, we want to know, is it status or non-status, and on reserve or off reserve? Those are 2 separate unique questions. And next, and then we have what we call our race-based question. This is capturing the client's racial self-identity. If the client prefers not to respond, they simply click prefer not to answer. If they're comfortable providing a response, they would just check whatever is applicable to them. Since I self-identified as Indigenous earlier, I will just do that for consistency and click next. Now we're into our financial stream of questions. You'll notice some question marks at the end of the question. This is providing help text to provide plain language explanations for the drop-down values we'll be displaying. So what best describes your living situation? This is what we mean when we say, when we say renter, or you're in hospital or homeless. These are what our values are here. So for our demonstration, I'll just select renter. What is your family size? We have it, again, an explanation what we mean by family size. So my family law matter, I'm just going to say 3. Either I can go on the scroll on the right-hand side of the field, or I can just simply type in whatever is appropriate, whatever is easier. Of course, this whole platform, I'm on my laptop, but if I can do it on my phone, on my tablet, it's mobile friendly as well, whatever is easier for the clients. How much do you have in liquid assets? Again, we'd let them know what we mean by liquid assets if that's unclear. And we put a value there, whatever is appropriate. Is anyone helping you complete the application? So if you're helping one of your clients, you could say yes to this question. Then we have a drop down here. Please select from the list what is appropriate for you. If there's anything from this list that you feel is missing, feel free to put it in the chat, send us an email after. But these are the current values. We have a couple more that we're adding. We have friendship center staff, some other legal opportunities that we're going to be adding in there. Court worker staff, I believe, is another recommendation we had. So then we're going to ask for full name, phone, email. If you have any hesitancy about that, understand you can put the shelter's name, the clinic's name, whatever is appropriate. You don't have to put your personal number here. You can put the business number as well, and email whatever is appropriate. We have never reached out to anybody who's helped somebody in the past. It's just on that, obviously going to be super rare. There's over 50,000 applications submitted. We've never reached out to anybody in the past. So because I indicated earlier, I'm receiving Ontario Works. We need to verify that. So the way we have 2 options, the clients can provide their 9-digit membership ID. If you do a hover over there, you'll see Ontario Works check stub. All of them are unique across the province, but this is a member ID, which is applicable to all regions across the province. All have a member ID on their check for OW or ODSP. So they can just type in their number. I'm in a test environment, so I can put a fictitious one in. Also, if I was doing this on my phone and I have my check stub in front of me, I could just snap a picture, upload it, and that could satisfy that requirements as well. Either or, and then in some instances, we've seen both of them be provided. As the blue circle spins, we'll be going to our lawyer page next. That is where the client has the opportunity to provide, to let us know, do they have a lawyer selected for this matter, in this case, a family law matter. If they say no, so I'll do that, I'll select no. Immediately we give them a link to our Find a Lawyer tool. What that tool does for them, it provides them access to all of our family law roster members across the province that have the ability to accept a legal aid certificate. And they can do that. They have a proximity search. So they say, I'm downtown Toronto, 10 kilometers, you're going to get a lot of lawyers in Thunder Bay. 10 kilometers, you might get not nearly as many. Whatever is appropriate, you can expand or contract that proximity search as needed. And you're going to get a list of lawyers. If language is an issue, they can get a language that speaks, a lawyer that speaks their first language is an option. Specialties in law, this is a great tool to help them find a lawyer. If they in fact do have a lawyer, we just have some follow-up questions for them. Have you paid any money to your lawyer? So if I happen to say, yes, I have, legal aid is obviously going to be interested in seeing how much you paid. So if it's $50, it's inconsequential opposed to, well, I've given them $10,000. Well, that's very important information for us to know that. So whatever's appropriate, they respond, we capture that information and act accordingly to that. So what is your lawyer's name? Select lawyer. This will give us again, all the lawyers across the province that have the ability to accept the legal matter your client has applied for. And of course, if the client, your lawyer, excuse me, last name is Young, you don't want to have to scroll through 1,000+ lawyers. You can just type it in and it will pull smart search anybody and they can select the appropriate lawyer. Once they make that selection, they're given their phone number to help ensure, oh, this is the lawyer I'm looking for, and here's their home address, here's their city, and we even have Google Maps to help them confirm this is in fact the Wayne Young I'm looking for. If it's not, of course, they can come back and make a change. This is important because picking a lawyer and subsequently changing it, we need exceptional circumstances for that. It's just not as easy as calling legal and saying, hey, Wayne and I are not getting along anymore. He didn't answer my phone call. There has to be exceptional circumstances to facilitate a change. So we always try and tell the clients to be as careful as possible, selecting a lawyer, naming a lawyer to ensure they don't have difficulty changing down the road. You do not have to provide a lawyer's name to be eligible for legal aid or complete this application. So if they don't have a lawyer, that's okay. They can get the information sent to themselves and then they can do their due diligence finding a counsel later. But we've picked our lawyer, we select next. This is the last page of the whole application process. I promise this along without me talking through the whole time. This is our consent and declaration document. Again, for speed's sake, I'm just going to scroll through here quickly, but the client, of course, would read this. Upon they feel comfortable, they click accept, then click OK. This is going to submit the application to the system. One of two things will happen. Well, obviously, we've successfully completed our client portal profile. I'm now in the client portal. I never have to do that onboarding thing again. That whole process is over. Within 10 to 15 seconds, they'll get an email, either A, telling them they've been approved. If they've been approved, the lawyer, if they named a lawyer, the lawyer's been notified in real time as well. That lawyer has the ability to go into their portal and acknowledge this client certificate and can start acting for them. And we've seen it where at 2 o'clock, the certificate has been generated through automation on the client portal. At 2:02, the lawyer's acknowledged it, and in theory could be working for that client immediately, and there's no downtime, and the client gets the help that they need. If this was our real live environment, tonight at 7 p.m., our batch runs, a process runs in the background. The client would receive what we call a confirmation of legal eligibility document, informing them of the coverage their lawyer has. If it was a criminal matter, it would just list all their charges, which is pretty self-evident. But if it's a family law, children's aid, immigration matter, they would be unaware of what kind of authorization their lawyer currently has. So this is a great document to let them know, oh, my lawyer has 10 hours, 20 hours, or whatever is appropriate. So that also governs them. Hey, every time I pick up the phone, is checking off hours against the lawyer. So just to be aware, the clients, after they viewed that document, it would transfer over into the history tab where they would have access to it forever and a day right now, because we don't have an archiving strategy at this moment, but they have access to it. They can click it open, just like the consent and declaration we just signed. You can see it here as date, timestamp when it was received, when it was acknowledged, and that will be true of any documents legal aid sends to them in the future. The legal aid applications tab, if the client had another matter going on, all they would do is now click start a new application, answer the questions, click submit, and that's it. There's no name, date of birth, addresses, validate emails. That's all been satisfied. We never have to do that again. The history tab here, that's when the client, let's say they started a new application, couldn't complete it for whatever reason. It will be available for them for 7 days to come back into the history tab, pick it up where they left off, complete it, submit it. If 7 days lapses, it will turn into read only, and they would just have to come and start it over again. Active cases is a really great feature. This is where they can find out the status of their application. So we can see here the one we just completed. The client would know via email and this status page that in fact their certificate was issued. If down the road, for whatever reason, that status changed, they got a job, they let us know something happened where they're no longer eligible for legal aid, that status could change to certificate canceled, certificate refused, or certificate active. Whatever's appropriate, it will display there. Whatever legal aid changes it, less than a second later, real time, it's updated here. So it's another great feature. The ability to provide legal aid information if they ever receive a notice on their portal, hey, we need your bank information, your legal documents. This is where they would come. My file upload, they'd select the document type, whatever is appropriate. Court information, select legal. Bank information, select finance. They were denied legal aid or a decision they didn't like, they would select eligibility review. Put a little blurb about whatever is there, attach their file, and it gets uploaded to a legal aid staff member to our work list. They'd pick it up, they'd see what was provided, see the note they left here, and they would in turn take the necessary steps to add it to their case, change the decision, whatever was appropriate. If a client's profile information changed, opposed to calling us and waiting on hold to say, hey, I've moved, they just come to the portal, click edit, and there's only 3 things they're unable to change about their profile: their first name, last name, and date of birth. There's a whole bunch of technical reasons for that. We're actually considering changing this in the near future, but right now they can't change that, but they can change their immigration status, their preferred language. I selected English, but actually I prefer all my documentation to come in French. They make that change, select French. Going forward, everything will come to them in French. Address change, they make that change. We'd save it, and it's been updated. So the client, now we know everything should come to them in French. Resources, find a lawyer. That's that tool we discussed earlier. Client satisfaction survey, FAQs, a glossary for all LEO terms, and lastly, the ability to change from English to French, French to English at any time. There's that opportunity. So that is a really quick walkthrough of the client portal. Hopefully you can see benefits for your clients. Again, having it available 24/7, not quite 365. There's a couple of times we need to make some changes with the tool, make some upgrades, but it's down very rarely. So if the window of time during the day is not appropriate for the call, this is a great opportunity to do it at any time that maybe suits their needs a little bit better, maybe even safer for them. So that's it for me. If there's questions, happy to answer. If not, I'll pass it to Catherine. Okay, thanks everyone, and I'll pass it to Catherine.
So I'm not sure why my video is not displaying well. So John's going to be my visual, I think, but for the balance of my speaking. So I'm going to speak to you about the assisted applications. This is the channel that allows our external providers the ability to submit a form that they fill in with the applicant who's seeking the initial application for the LAO certificate. The channel is available in English and French. That's how the forms are populated and sent in during the email service that, through email to our service providers that review them. And the staff that review them can work in both the French and the English, which is how they can be sent in. Also, the ability of the service provider to provide a different language, but translate into the form of French or English is a way that other languages can be assisted. The average of now is increased since we first started doing these sessions to about 750 applications a month through this manner. And it provides assistance to some of LAO's most vulnerable clients. These applications are processed by LAO staff based on the information that's received on the forms. through the centralized email box. We say that we process these in 3 to 5 business days, although many are completed in less time, and currently our statistics are very good in that regard. Eligibility is determined at the first instance as the form is reviewed by the staff. The lawyers and other service providers using these forms find it helpful for people who don't maybe speak or read English or French, have low literacy skills. They might live in communities or institutions without access to the phone or the internet, and they may have difficulty traveling to offices, courts, or clinics as well. Sometimes they're just not comfortable with the technology, or they may prefer speaking with someone who they know already as a service provider. Coverage is available for criminal matters, child protection, family law where domestic violence has been experienced by the applicant, immigration, and refugee matters. Like the portal, this is for fixed income, OW, ODSP, no income, or new to Canada or in custody. This option is limited to certain stakeholders at this point in time that have received the training and an overview of the program. It also is used by our roster lawyers, our LAO duty council staff lawyers, including the senior counsel and our Bridges duty counsel, which is the 24/7 service that answers criminal, as well the Office of the Public Guardian and Trustee, and select mental health court workers, some Indigenous friendship centers as well. So that means that in a shelter, if the roster lawyer who comes in to speak to the shelter or calls in can get access to these forms and complete them on behalf of one of your clients. If there's any questions, otherwise I get to pass on to in-person services to be explained by Kate.
Thanks, Catherine. LAO prioritizes individual vulnerabilities and is committed to ensuring our services are easily available to specialized groups. We recognize that the most vulnerable are at risk if they face challenges that prevent them from accessing our services through phone, website, or through lawyers. For this reason, while not the primary access channel, in-person assistance remains available when required. An individual in need of help at a local office or in court will always be served to get help connecting to services or help with a specific case. Local staff are attuned to client needs and respond promptly, taking a hands-on approach to work with judicial partners to expedite service where possible. Staff are available in courts and offices to provide in-person assistance in connecting people to service when necessary. In-person access channels are available for those who have various challenges that make accessing LAO services through the major channels very difficult or impossible. On the screen, you will see a Duty Council lookup tool. It is available on our external website, and you can use that to find offices within court locations. The Centre-Est District Office is the main office for this district, but we also have a lookup tool on our website that connects you with local offices in your neighborhoods. I'm wondering if anyone has any questions before I turn it over to the next speaker. Great, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. So that concludes our presentation. If you have any questions, our external relations general email is there up on the screen, and please, we welcome any comments or questions that, and I'll make sure personally that they're responded to. We will be following up today with some resources to assist you with referring to our services, including step-by-step instructions to create an online account with our client portal. So we just ask that you please continue to share your client experiences or thoughts on the access channels with us that we shared with you today. Feedback really does help us improve the functionality and overall experience as we work to enhance these channels in the future. We are also going to put a survey into the chat and follow up with an email with you with our survey, just so that we can improve on these sessions as well in the future.